Today on Let's Fish TV, we're here on Lake Merval. I got my buddy Kyle with me. We're gonna be targeting crappie. And let me tell you guys, today is gonna be a lot of fun. We're gonna be targeting those fish using our active target, using our power pole drift paddles to set us up to catch some of these slab crappie. You're not gonna wanna miss today's episode. Let's Fish TV is on the air right now. Oh my gosh. Check that out.
It's time for the only program that brings you real-time fishing reports from the Southwest region every week.
Cobia, big one, and a monster.
Look at that.
That's a Tawakoni giant.
This is Let's Fish.
Welcome to Let's Fish TV. I'm your host, Andrew Upshaw, and today we're at Lake Merval. Lake Merval is about a 3,000 acre lake. It's located in East Texas, and one thing I've been told, it is full of big crappie. I'll be joined by my buddy Kyle, and guys, he's been on them, and I have a feeling we're gonna smash on today. We'll also have this week's fishing report from your local region from our insider reporters. In the meantime, I'm gonna get the boat launched, get everything set up. We'll toss it back to studio for your weekend planner.
Hey there, the lunar tables are indicating poor game fish activity on Saturday and good activity on Sunday. Peak morning hours begin early around 4:09 on Saturday, 5:02 on Sunday morning, and afternoon activity will begin around 4:37 on Saturday and 5:25 Sunday evening. Depending on your area, the sun will rise around 7:02 and set at 5:26. Expect the moon to have 29% visibility. Stay with us, we've got fishing reports from across the area on the way, and I'll return with 2014 Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Greg Hackney, on this week's Ask the Pro question.
All right, guys, today we're headed out on Lake Merval. It's located in East Texas. It's a little hidden gem of a crappie lake. We're dealing with some really warm conditions right now. You know, we have a big cold front coming in this week. The fishing is pretty good. I think we're gonna have a really good day today. We're gonna get out there and hopefully we'll catch us a couple really nice crappie. I'm gonna tell you one thing though, guys, this place is absolutely loaded. I can't wait to showcase it. We'll see y'all here in just a second. Trying to drop it right there on the...
You're right on him. There you go. Here he comes. No, that was mine.
That was yours. There we go. Oh, god dang it.
Oh, we almost doubled up.
He's getting the catches anyway.
Are we counting?
There we go.
Look at there.
That's a better one. Ooh, here we go, guys. We're here at Lake Merval, dipping around some of these trees with a big rod with my buddy Kyle. Check that out. Not too bad. Little fish right there.
Nice eating fish.
Hey, but we're gonna talk a little bit about where we're at. You know, we're at Lake Merval. It's located in East Texas. This is a hidden gem. We're probably gonna get in trouble for talking about this body of water. We're using a lot of different things that maybe some of you never used before, and we're gonna talk about that throughout this episode and show you exactly what we're doing. Using big rods, our Lowrance Active Target 2, and our power pole drift paddles. It's a pretty cool way that we're catching fish. But Merval, it's only about 3,000 acres, right?
Yeah, it's not very big at all,
No.
but it is loaded with crappie.
You know, and this is something you do all the time. You're a crappie guy. Like I pulled up to the boat ramp today. He had his boat here. It had the twin troll motors back on the back end of the boat. You had the seats in the front and everything like that. But he told me we'd go out there and catch us some. We've only been out here a few minutes and we've already caught 3.
Yep.
Missed a couple others. Merval is definitely where it's going down right now, but we're gonna break that down throughout this entire episode. We're gonna show y'all how to drift around, catch these fish, use that power stop method, and using that active target too. But let's get back after it.
right.
We've already got our first double of the day, just to start out the day. So
Let's go get
we'll
some
see
more.
y'all here in just a second.
Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Lone Star Lakes, brought to you once again by the good folks at Holland Safe. A Texas company, Holland is committed to bringing you the very best in safes, and they back that up with a burglary and fire protection warranty. Don't just be safe, be Holland Safe. Now we're heading into the winter months, and one of the most consistent, reliable fish we can try to catch all through the winter is the striped bass, or striper, if you will. And two of our best lakes here in Texas are Whitney and Texoma. Now you'll fish both of these lakes pretty much the same way with the same baits regardless of which one you're on. Start your morning early with topwaters around shallow lake points and or some shallow structure out in the main lake with deep water nearby. Fish those topwaters until that bite plays out. Then you'll be looking for ledges and edges. You'll look to the deeper water where the drops are and the channels and things like that and fish those with either spoons and slabs, or you can use a striper sniper or an A-rig. Now over at Texoma, they also have smallmouth, and they're a lot of fun to chase as well. Again, top waters early, then transition to things like your medium and deep diving crankbaits in a citrus shad type color. One thing you need to keep in mind, if you're fishing for smallmouth and you start catching a lot of small striper, you're gonna need to move. Those small stripers will school up in schools of hundreds of fish, and they'll start slamming your baits, and the smallmouth won't compete. They'll just move somewhere else. You need to move as well. That's this week's Lone Star Lakes. Be sure and check us out on Facebook, Lone Star Lakes.
There he comes.
Yeah. There we go.
Man, those little fish fight.
Yeah, they do. Ooh, there we go. Merval special right there, guys. Check that out. I mean, he's got it choked. Just throwing that little lightning shad. You know, when you're doing this technique, it's not necessarily about what bait you're throwing. It's about just putting it in front of them. If the fish wants to eat, he'll eat it. I can tell you that. But what we're doing today is we're dipping around this open water timber. You know, open water timber has always been a way to catch a lot of fish. You know, fish hold on all this timber, but what Active Target's shown us over the last few years is just how many fish are on this timber. You know, when it doesn't necessarily have to be on a creek channel, doesn't have to really be on anything, it can just be on that piece of wood. And it seems like some of the older wood, the bigger pieces of wood, the fish tend to hold on to more. But what we're doing is we're just going around and we're shining that Active Target around on each one of these trees and trying to find the larger than average fish. And it takes a lot of work, but it can be a lot of fun too in the same time. But the rig we're using today is just a tungsten bead with 2 bobber stops and then an 1/8 ounce slasher head Mr. Crappie jig head. This is just an 1/8 ounce. It's a little bit larger than what you normally would use, and using a really big rod. And we're going to talk more about that as the show goes on. But all you're doing is basically dipping this rig in front of the crappie. When the crappie gets active, you're picking it up real slowly and the fish is reacting to it. So we're gonna get back to it. We're gonna see if we can catch a few more today. You know, it's already started out with a bang. I mean, we've already caught quite a few fish. I think it's just gonna get better throughout the day. So we'll see y'all here in just a second.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Lake Hartwell Country. Catch the feeling. Lose, feel the difference. Mamba Boats, ride with pride. Strike King, tie one on. Fishing Specialties, makers of the premier mount assembly for live sonar.
That is a
there.
better one there.
Oh yeah, that's a nice fish. Do we need a net?
Maybe. That's a pretty good one there.
Yep. Now let's see the other one out there.
There we go. Golly, there's nothing more fun than catching crappie on a big rod. You know, don't get me wrong, I love casting a little rod around at them, but it's just something about when you bend up one of these sniper rods from Lou's Mr. Crappie. It's just nothing beats it. This is called the Protarget rod. Protarget rod comes in a lot of different lengths, and today we're using a 14 and a 15 footer. And I just put a Wally Marshall speed shooter reel in there. It's just one of my favorite reels that Wally's designed. I think more so because of the lime green and the blue. But the Protarget rod is to help you get very specific angles and targets on these particular crappie that are suspended. And I don't care if they're suspended in open water, around timber, or whatever. It allows you to get precise bait positioning. And that's what's so important when you're using Active Target, is getting your bait exactly on the fish. And as soon as that fish starts to come at it, you know, you've attracted that fish, you see the fish react to your bait, the fish will go vertical. You always want to drop that bait right above them. And as soon as that fish goes vertical, you just start slowly lifting it up. And that's a lot of times, just that vertical movement of the bait is when the fish actually strikes it. You know, beyond just the last few years of using this particular method, you know, I always just used to take a 4.5 to 5.5 foot ultralight spinning rod and just cast my crappie jig around brush piles. And now it's kind of opened that Pandora's box on how to catch even more crappie. And using that Protarget rod allows you to dip out there, stay further away from those fish, and still get them in the boat. But we've got a nice little group of crappie here. We'll get back to it and see if we can catch a couple more.
Hey friends, Captain Kevin Broussard here with this week's report on Let's Fish. I tell you what, right now along the whole Gulf Coast, waterfowl season is in full swing. I tell you what, right now at Cajun Paradise Charters here in Hackberry, we are offering some cast and blast. When the weather's nice, the fishing's great, and I tell you what, we got plenty of waterfowl to shoot. But all along the Gulf Coast, speckled trout, redfish is great. Snapper season is still open. Anywhere, you know, a few guys starting to fish back around Venice and the Delacroix area, they're catching lots of trout, lots of redfish. Over here on Calcasieu, same thing. Trout and redfish are abundant. The flounder are really starting to run right now. Soft plastics on Rockport Rattler jig heads, working best right there for that. On the freshwater side, Toledo Bend, I tell you what, the crappie are starting to pull off the brush piles, move into a little deeper water. Hearing some good reports on that. Live shiners in 15 to 25 feet of water. Also bass action right now. They're in the fall pattern. They're shallow. Spinner baits, buzz baits, and rattle traps seems to be the key there. For Old Cajun Phil, Captain Kevin Broussard saying happy fishing, may God bless, and let's fish.
There's one right there at your bait. My bait.
There we go. Golly. Oh, that's a better one there. They are really liking that Strike King Mr. Crappie Lightning Shad. Bluegrass in color. Another nice crappie. Man, you can't beat it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, is that a big one?
No.
It's another good one.
Good fish. Just choked it.
Man, that is a great fish.
Man, I love catching these fish.
No, there ain't nothing wrong with it. There we go.
You know, I was ahead of you a little while ago. I don't know what's happening.
Oh, that's a better one there. There we go. Got him?
Yeah.
I guess I picked the wrong one.
These little fish pull. Look like it.
There we go. That's a better one. There we go.
Yeah.
That's a nice one there. Man. Ooh.
Yeah, there's some nice fish in here.
Golly, look at the size of that crappie.
Watching those things
That
come
is
up
a
there.
better one there.
Oh yeah, that's a nice fish. Do we need a net?
Maybe. That's a pretty good one there. There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
God, every one of these, they're just choking it down. Just check that out. Eating that Strike King Mr. Crappie Lightning Shad. You know, y'all, if y'all have watched Let's Fish for very long, y'all know one of my favorite baits by far is that Lightning Shad. And it's all about just finding a comfort bait. There we go, I got the thing. That's a good one there. But finding that one bait that you're very, very comfortable with, because you know, there's a lot of different body profiles out there when it comes to baits. You know, you've got the Joker, you've got the Slab Slinger, you've got the Lightning Shad, you've got a bunch of different profiles. But day in and day out, that minnow style profile like we have here with that Lightning Shad, to me, it just gets you more bites. And the other thing that a lot of guys ask is, why do you use a colored head? You know, on here we have a pink head. And what do you think, Kyle?
I've used all different kinds. I would rather have a colored head than a regular lead head.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter what color to me.
Got him?
Yep.
There we go. There you go. That's a good one. That's what I'm talking about. But one thing that we've done today that I've never really done before is we've been using our power pole drift paddles.
Yep.
You know, the drift paddle is an attachment that you can put on the very back of your power pole that will actually slow you down. It's like a drift sock, but
Just
for
like
power
it.
poles. And one thing that we've been doing today is when we're trolling, especially in this wind today, we'll be trolling along, we'll see a tree that has crappie in it, we'll hit the drift paddles down, and then as soon as we do that,
It'll stop
it
us.
slows us down. It won't
Yep.
like
It
dead
don't
stop us,
stop.
no,
It'll
but
slow-
it'll
yep.
slow you way down. That way it gives you enough time to get your bait down to the bottom or down to the fish and turn catching it. What having this around my neck gives me the ability to do is actually drop them halfway, a quarter of the way, all the way down, and that way it'll slow us down even more, even less. Sometimes you don't want to slow it all the way down, you just want it to kind of just slow you down just a little bit. And you can vary your speed by the depth in which you put that power pole drift anchor.
Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Mercury, Go Boldly, Lowrance, the ultimate fishing system, Gulf Shores and Orange Beach, Alabama. Plan or book your fishing charter at orangebeach.com. Motor Guides Tour Pro with GPS anchor, powered by Passion. Glacier outdoors since 1982.
Nothing wrong with that, Kyle. Man, what a...
Not at all.
You know, this is a lot of fun. I want to talk about one thing, though. There we go. There we go.
Now,
Here we go. Doubled up. Man,
that's
a couple
the way
more
you do
nice
it.
crappie. Nothing wrong with that, Kyle. Man, what a...
Not at all.
You know, this is a lot of fun. I want to talk about one thing, though. You were talking about it earlier about how these crappie position, you know, whether it be the different species or subspecies of crappie. You know, you were saying that the white crappie are more roamers.
Yes. The black crappie they'll get in packs, groups, and a lot of times you may catch some white crappie that are in a few packs, but it's just a few fish. It's not like 15 or 20, it's maybe 3 or 4. But most of the time the white crappie are just sitting out by themselves.
Okay.
They're kind of loners, especially the bigger ones.
The really big ones.
Yeah, they're just kind of loners.
And so on this particular lake, we're at Lake Merval. It's a really small lake, about 3,000 acres. What is one of your larger, like if I was to come out here, what would be a decent sized fish?
Springtime, several easily 2-pound fish.
Okay.
Easily.
And
yes.
this time of year, you know,
This time of year, 1.5 is a 1.75
Yeah.
pounds is a good fish.
No doubt.
Now, they're starting to bulk up for the wintertime, getting some shoulders on them. They're gonna have big bellies on them from the shad that they're gorging on.
so do you long pole most of the time here?
95% of my time is with a long pole.
Okay. If you want to come out here, or any body of water where you're using active target and fishing for these fish, you don't have to use a 15 or 16 foot rod.
No.
You can use a 5.5 foot rod and still have success with it. It's all about just finding your comfort zone. There we go.
That's a nice fish. We need the net.
There we go. Not a bad one. Middle of a windstorm.
Here, let me get the net. Oh my goodness. Net man. Oh, look at that.
Oh, there we go. Nothing wrong with that one. Hey, I had him hooked good there. It's not a bad one there. Nothing wrong with that. Let's get that fish back real quick. So tell us a little bit about your guide service. You know, you do this on the side some.
Yeah, I do a little guiding in northwest Louisiana and East Texas.
Quite honestly, this is what you like to do all the time. You don't bass fish or anything.
The only time I chased bass was whenever my son was high school fishing, high school bass, and he graduated. So all those rods are out of my boat.
Yeah, so you're
nothing
just
but crappie
strictly,
rods.
you're a crappie fisherman.
it.
What's your guide service called?
It's called Sobo Mafia. It stands for South Bossier. South Bossier Mafia.
And
So,
how can people get a hold of you?
You can look it up, Sobo Mafia Outdoors on Facebook.
Okay. You know, there's a lot of great crappie lakes all through this area.
You know, they say everything's bigger in Texas.
I agree with that.
And man, you have Lake of the Pines, you have Merval, you have Lake Fork,
No doubt.
and even Toledo Bend.
Oh, yeah, Toledo, there's some really big ones there.
In Toledo.
The wind's starting to pick up. The weather's starting to change a little bit. We're probably going to head into the ramp. We're going to talk a little bit more about how we've caught them here at Lake Merval. This place, if you get a chance, you're in East Texas or in Texas in general, you want a crappie destination that's a little bit smaller, a little bit more secluded, you need to come check out this place. This is kind of a diamond in the rough, I would say. And
It's a hidden gem.
no doubt about it. So we're about to head on in, and we'll see y'all here in just a second. We'll talk a little bit more about it.
Watch our latest episode or catch up on past episodes on our website at letsfishtv.com. Be sure to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter for new fishing videos every day. And download the free Waypoint TV app to get all the latest episodes every week on your phone, tablet, computer, or smart TV. Let's Fish TV is proudly backed by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Have fun out there. Visit Mississippi. Wanderers welcome. Powerful. Total boat control. Balls Out. Made in the USA. Heavy duty mounts for your fish finders. Rely on. Challenge your limits.
Welcome back, everybody. Let's get right on over to your Ask the Pro question for this week. Albert would like to know, in your opinion, what is the best species of fish to eat? For an answer, we asked 2014 Bassmaster Angler of the Year, Greg Hackney.
I really love flathead catfish. I think it's a novelty because I grew up, as a kid, we catfished, and it was always, seemed like there were lots of blue cats and lots of channel cats, but when you caught a flathead, it was special. And they are, as far as fried fish go, they're hard to beat.
Thank you so much, Greg, for sharing. If you want some help from one of the pros, simply go to letsfishtv.com and follow the Ask the Pro link to submit a question.
Here's today's Right Stuff, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors.
All right, guys, today on Lake Merval, I used one bait to catch my fish. When it came to the bait itself, I was using a lightning shad. This is a Mr. Crappie lightning shad in the bluegrass color. This is a color that I turn to when the water gets a little dirtier. It's kind of like throwing a chartreuse and blue crankbait. The fish really like to eat it. Now, just in front of this, I have a tungsten bead with 2 Strike King bobber stops, just about a foot up my line. And what this is, it's not for any attraction, maybe a little bit of weight, but more so to have 2 different pings on my active target too. An 1/8 ounce Strike King Mr. Crappie slasher jig head completed the rig. But let me tell you, when it came to rod, reel, and line, this is where it got a little more interesting. I was using 10-pound Strike King. This is Contra braid. This is a yellow braid. I love a yellow braid. It is the best bite detection line that you can get. You can see the line, you can see the bite. And when these crappie, especially the really light biting ones, you could see the line jump and you're able to catch them. But I was still putting about a 6-foot, 12-pound Strike King Contra fluorocarbon leader. I like the fluorocarbon. The little bit of stretch. And the other thing is I have better direct contact. It's more sensitivity for those really light bites. I was using a loose Protarget Wally Marshall rod. This rod was designed for using on active target. It's a 14-footer. I was able to stretch that thing out there and catch those fish. Guys, if you want the crappie trip of a lifetime and don't have to deal with all the boats that you do on other big bodies of water, you need to come check out Lake Merval. You won't be disappointed, and there are so many crappie here. You don't want to miss it. But until next time, guys, I'll see you on the water.